My dear friend, I'm unsure of how to start this letter, but I seem to recall last time I began with an apology. In an effort to not become repetitive, I'll share an anecdote this time instead. Today, and what ultimately inspired me to write this letter, I was lying in a quite sunny field to the northwest. I'd like to take you sometime, should you allow me. It was warm and calm and refreshing. And as I lay on the grass, feeling it press down gently under my body, I cloud-gazed, as I have not done in quite some time. Do you cloud-gaze, my friend? If you don't, I most recommend it. It's very relaxing, and the feeling of the sun on your skin is something that can't be replaced. Regardless, I spent quite some time there in that field, just letting the clouds pass me by. Perhaps I was there longer than I should have been, as it was morning when I lay down and mid-afternoon when I stood back up again. Still, I couldn't deny how much better I felt after the fact, like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Naturally, I've been thinking of you. Even though quite some time has passed, I can't help but think of you and the other wonderful friends I've become so close to. At times, I want nothing more than to return home immediately and beg your forgiveness. Moments like these, with the sun on my skin and the ground so lovingly beneath me, help to ground me in why I'm doing this all to begin with. Because, while it does hurt to be apart from you, I truly feel at home here, in nature's unbridled embrace. With that said, previously I made a few comments regarding your town that I would like to clarify. Should you have not read my previous letters, particularly my first, this apology might confuse you, for which I can only further apologize. I hope that, upon looking back at them, you will understand that I had no malice when I said what I did. In particular, I recall having previously made a comment stating that my protection of your town went against my purpose as a guardian of nature. Having had some time to think further on the matter, I believe I was not wholly in the right to say that. I acknowledge that humans are as much a part of nature as trees and bugs and animals. I don't want you to mistake my previous comments as holding any belief that you, or other humans, should be valued any less than the nature that which surrounds your town. However, your town has, especially in the past several decades, made many decisions which ultimately put it at odds with the wilderness I hold so dear. In particular, your town's expansion over time has led to the displacement of countless animals and the destruction of their habitats, which is to say nothing of the effects which humans and human machinery have had on the plants and animals that have not been immediately displaced. I struggle to describe it, but to be as concise as possible, the large-scale presence of your inorganic structures has so severely warped the flow of nature in a way I cannot heal without proving an inconvenience for you and your kind. Furthermore, a number of members from your town council have visited me on more than one occasion, asking or demanding my help. Their desires in contacting me were not to protect nature from their actions, but rather ensuring their actions would not be bothered by nature. Or this simply an effort of ensuring an area was safe from predatory animals, or that appropriate warnings were placed in potentially dangerous territory, perhaps I could forgive these individuals' unkind attitudes. But what they often would instruct me to do is closer to that of terraforming, even going so far as to alter the patterns of weather to ensure venues were left untouched by anything they deemed too inclement. Please understand, my friend, when I say these things, I harbor no malice to you. I recognize that you have no personal sway over how your town handles its expansion, or its lighting, its roads, or construction efforts. Nor do you personally dictate what areas are protected or unprotected by your laws. Such is also the case, I'm aware, with my lack of invitation to your town's events, which I believe I commented on in a previous letter as well. At no point in time have you, yourself, made me feel unwelcomed in this regard. I'm quite positive, if you were able and I were willing, you would find any number of ways to include me in the festivities of state fairs, holidays, marketplaces, and so on. However, my previous attempts to join in at my size, with my temperament, have been largely looked down upon by your town's leaders. In some cases, I have been banned from joining at all, with Halloween being a prime example of this, given how poorly my participation went some years ago. I realize this isn't due, in some small part, to the threat I pose at my size. However, I nonetheless hope you can understand how difficult it is for me to be given what I need to appear welcoming to your people, but to ultimately be unwelcomed myself in most situations. To be very clear, I will reiterate, I do not believe that you yourself are in any way at fault for the troubles I have experienced, and I harbor no ill will toward you. Quite the contrary, I deeply cherish you, my friend, and I only want what is best for you. With that said, the efforts made by those who hold power within your town have made me feel consistently unheard and unvalued, something I simply can't abide given my role as a protector of nature. This is, I believe, the root of my struggle, and it is a root I've let grow within me for far too long. I apologize if my words have upset you, my friend. I realize this letter may come across as one full of venom and hatred for your town, though I assure you nothing could be further from my true feelings. Rather, I feel the need to understand how I can pursue my purpose, my reason for living, without simply giving up on what I've worked so hard for until now. How can I balance my pursuit of nature with my pursuit of you and my other friends? I mean it when I say that the last thing I want is to hurt those who I care about, yourself included. Though I am certain, in some small ways, My absence as a stabilizing force has already begun to affect you and those around you. Perhaps these effects are positive in some ways. Perhaps in others they're negative. Regardless, what I am certain of is, if my current physical state is any indication of how I've been performing as a guardian of nature, then I can no longer deny that my desire to avoid conflict with your town and its leaders has stunted myself as much as it has stunted the world around me. It is because of this that I'm so grateful for this journey, as it has provided me with so much insight, which I could never have understood had I not taken this leap of faith. If nothing else, being alone and being immersed in nature has helped me see the world in a way that I never could have dreamed back home. I sincerely hope that by the end of all this, my time away will have been worth it. As always, I'm grateful for your patience, my friend. I'm grateful for you allowing me this space to understand myself and my place in the world. For allowing me the opportunity to become something more. To become a new version of myself. Perhaps, by the end of this journey, I will truly be a new person, unrecognizable as the Clement who watched over your town before. But rest assured, my friend, no matter who I become, no matter how I change, you will, evermore, be my friend. Deepest gratitude.